Lampard what? Wolves 1, Chelsea 0. Now look, I'm going to get all my pragmatic nonsense out of the way first. He's only been there a few days. He wasn't going to right all the wrongs of their, excessive transfer policy. Yada. Okay, fine, done. Let's cook him. Listen.
Can you really cook him though? It's not his team, bro.
I can, man.
Yeah. No, you can't. We're just cooking him for the sake of Lampard, bro. It's not his.
No, we're cooking him because he's not a good manager.
Yeah, but that's aside from the game, though. The game had nothing to do with him not being a good manager.
It's not him I want to cook. It's the club.
Okay,
because I think
let's
this
cook the
was
club.
a slightly lazy decision.
Oh, very.
Because as much as we weren't super happy with the Roy Hodgson thing at Palace, right? I think that was more the affinity for Vieira, and we felt that actually whatever a manager's gonna come in and do, with the run of games and the difficulty of those fixtures easing, Vieira could have done it anyway, right? Lampard hasn't got anything in his history that says if you appoint him, you are going to get a different result over those 8 games than what you were getting with your previous manager. That was clearly you're a fan favourite. People think we don't know what we're doing. I beg, enter the job, give us some respite whilst we go and wheel out a superstar manager in July or August. And actually, now we're giving you a third chance in your managerial career. If you do well, you can keep the job. Win-win. We've brought back Super Frank. And then on the first instance, it goes wrong.
What are you saying? His Derby County resume isn't good enough?
Well, you heard the story about how he got the Derby County job, right?
Yeah, but how he got it or whatever the case was, he did well at Derby County.
He didn't get them promoted, did he?
He got to the final.
No, they lost the playoff final.
He didn't get him promoted.
Right, okay.
As well, he did well.
Okay, let me ask you a different way. Did what he achieved at Derby County, use the word achieved, lightly, is that typically enough for a manager to get a job at Chelsea Football Club?
If you didn't have his experience with Chelsea, no. So other managers wouldn't get that
experience?
job.
He's playing experience.
He's playing experience. If he wasn't a Chelsea legend, he wouldn't have got that job. Let's
so why did he get the Arsenal job?
I don't know, man. Because he was Martinez's assistant.
When he got the Chelsea job, it was a bit of a gimme because they were under the transfer ban. So getting in an established manager say you can't spend any money for 2 transfer windows. He done okay at Derby to warrant getting that job, considering, like Mark said, who he is. But it was a free hit for him that season. It's like, right, I've got no money to spend. I'm just going to come in and work with what I've got. And
he did well.
He done all right.
He did very well. I think he done very well. Got top 4.
Yeah, so
FA Cup final?
Under different circumstances, I don't think he would have got that job.
Look, I think Frank is an okay manager. I don't think he's a poor manager. And I think it's with people that are, let's just say football, famous, and people feel like nepotism will help them, they always swing it to like extremes. He's not a poor manager, but I don't think he's the manager of the caliber that Chelsea needed to achieve their goals. He did okay there, and then he went to Everton, didn't do well there. There might be an argument that actually some managers can't do well at clubs Everton. Like, it's all well and good as saying, even at Everton you can do well. I don't know. If I roll up Jose Mourinho to Everton with those players, he might walk back out.
That's a terrible job.
How much
Terrible. No one does well ever.
I don't even know.
What did he do there?
Ancelotti got to spend.
No, but what did he do there?
Like, they were going in the right direction. They weren't moving mad how they are now. They were going in the right direction.
Yeah, they weren't relegation.
Yeah, but
they weren't.
as soon as he looked at it, Madrid coming, he was like, "Oh, no, see you later."
No, of course, it's Madrid. Everyone would do that.
You're at Everton, man.
But even with Frank, like Frank came into Everton the back end of season before. No, last season.
Yeah,
it
he
was last
saved them
season.
from relegation. Basically.
And barely. I don't think he should have stayed over that summer because there were signs that his football
Wasn't good.
at Everton wasn't good enough to
But his argument,
sustain in the Premier League.
and I remember him saying this at the time, was, I'm doing what I'm going to need to do to keep us up. And so they're probably hoping he keeps us up, and then we'll see the more expansive, I don't want to use the word expansive, he might not claim to be an expansive football manager,
but a different style.
yeah, something that was a bit more progressive, wasn't as boring to watch, etc., which never materialized. So let me ask you guys a different question then. What does success look like for Frank this season? Because as I said, you sacked Potter, you were never in danger of relegation, right? So it's not like you were in a Pat V situation. You had a cushion, they had a 7 or 8 point cushion to the next person, not even to relegation, to the next team below them. You're not making Champions League. You're not making Europa.
You win it.
Yeah, exactly, unless you win it. You've got Real Madrid, the most successful Champions League team of the last decade, next. So whoever you bring in, I don't care who they are. You could bring Pep, yeah? Barring Pep, you're the underdog for those fixtures. So you're going to go out of the Champions League anyway. So actually, what is success or failure for Frank? I think, again, he's got a free hit.
There isn't nothing. Yeah, there isn't nothing that's success or failure.
Makes it even worse.
It's just basically playing 8 games. You needed someone there. It was more about getting Potter out more than getting Frank in. I don't think the plan was even to bring Frank in. They just needed to get Potter out.
So let's say...
But again, sorry. But then why then? Because as we just explained, we kind of laid out a picture where...
I think it's to do with the fans, the pressure that how the team was playing. They just thought, you know what, we can't go any further with this now.
Rather than
let's just cut him.
Rather than a wider like footballing.
Yeah, I think it was just about then get Potter out. Like they didn't bring Frank in straight away. They didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. It's only then his assistant Bruno was taking a couple of games, and I was like, this ain't gonna work either.
Yeah.
Let's get someone. So and who's gonna take the job for 8 games? Anyone decent? Nobody.
No. I think someone decent would
Yeah,
have taken
someone would have.
These
Money.
8 games, is essentially throwaway games, isn't it? So you could come in, implement your style, run it into the preseason, and then next season you're running smoothly.
To that point, Daz, you know who the kind of manager, I know he's already been there, who would have used the 8 games like a real training thing, Tuchel.
Yeah.
Tuchel strikes with the kind of manager who'd be like, right, we've got 8 games, we've got the Real Madrid games, and kind of tinkered with it in that way. And to be honest, by the end of that 8 games, he knows if you're staying or not.
Exactly.
Next season, you're gone. You're out.
Now a new manager comes in, they don't know who they want to keep, who they want to get rid of. They
I think they know who they want to get in the summer. But
that manager doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think they've spoken to the manager, and the manager said, I'm coming in the summer.
You think so? You think that's sorted?
I think so, yeah.
Because apparently a couple of things with some of the higher caliber managers has been, how much control will I have when I get there? Like, you know, what is your model? How does it exactly work? Because they got 2 people doing the director of football thing there as well. So they got co-directors of football. Strange. I don't know what's going on there and why, but fair enough. So it's interesting. T, what do you think about?
I don't know. Man.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
I said Chelsea are in tatters, isn't it? last episode. But I just don't think they know what they're doing, bro. Like Frank, like you lot said, he's got a free hit. Don't matter what he does, really. If who knows? He might be able to pull off something. Maybe, who knows? A good showing at Real Madrid or back at the Bridge. You never know. That might put him in.
But what if they finish in the bottom half of the table? Like they're only...
But that you can't blame him for that.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
You can't really blame him for that.
Why not?
Well, if
Because
he does
the whole season.
So if he does well, you can praise him. But if he doesn't,
No, I'm
you
saying
can't.
I'm looking at the Champions League and I'm thinking he could make a name for himself again if he does something in the Champions League. It's a cup
But
competition.
they're only 6 points behind ahead of Crystal Palace, which is crazy to think of. And the way they're playing, that swing could happen.
They've lost 11 games this season.
Mad.
They've won 4 games in 6 months.
You know what? You said a minute ago. Essentially, if he does poorly, or if they continue in this poor form, you can't blame him. If he does well, you can blame him because they weren't doing well before. So you can not blame him. So you can give him
praise him.
You can praise him for it.
Can I just ask you guys a question though? If Chelsea's come to your top manager and they said, you're our next manager, you've agreed to take the job. They said you can either come in now or you can come in and start fresh in the summer. Which one would you do?
I'm coming in now. Depending on what my current team is doing. Let's say if I'm going for a Champions League, then I'm obviously going to wait. If I'm going for a title or a cup, I'm going to wait.
End of the season.
But if I've got nothing going for
I'm not tarnishing my team.
Yeah,
I would
go in the season. I wouldn't come in now.
Wait. That's your question. If you're currently employed or you're a free agent?
Both, either or.
I'm currently employed. I'm not turned up to pre-season. Sorry, lads. I'm not leaving my team now to do that.
Exactly.
But if I'm free agent, if I'm Nagelsmann, I'm coming in now.
If you're fighting stuff,
I'm taking a free hit. You know how we called it a free hit for other managers? I'm taking a free hit. You're not firing me.
That's not a free hit.
It's a free hit though. It's not a free hit if you're the permanent manager. It's not a free hit.
It is a free hit.
Frank. It's a free hit for someone else.
It's a free hit for Frank because he's coming for this period. That's it. It's not going to be a free hit if you got a 5-year contract and you come in now and then nothing changes because these players are stained already.
It'd still be a free hit.
No, I totally agree with you.
Not doing anything. They're not like nothing's happening.
It'd still be a free hit.
If I come in now and I end up in and around the same place I'm in now, right? So I come in now, John Nagelsmann, and
say you win 4, you lose 4, or
let's be realistic. Let's say I win 1, draw 3, and lose the rest.
Yeah, realistic. Oh
so
no!
Let's say I finish 10th or 12th, like in that range. Bro, I'm not getting fired. I'm in a position where I'm having serious dialogue with my director of football and saying, look, this is what's wrong, this is what... I understand what you two are saying. That's why if I'm employed, I'm not leaving that club. But I guess the devil's in the detail, but I'm having a conversation with them. To your point, my response to your question is this. Consider the rest of this season, apart from the Champions League, a write-off, right? I'm going to use this as an extended kind of assessment period to inform how we move in the summer. Champions League, I'm going to try and win that. Yeah? I'm going to go to Real Madrid and try and cause an upset and win that competition. And if you get the feeling back that, yeah, okay, cool. Basically, no matter what happens, you're here in the summer, fine. If I get the vibes that actually, in 6 games, if you're moving mad, you're elf, then I'm not coming to the summer. But I do think it could be an opportunity to, because there are going to be some players that they might think of letting go now. You might work with them and be like, actually, he needs to stay.
Exactly.
Right? And there's other players they've brought in that the directors of football think are great. You work with them and be like, nah, for your system, because the thing is these days, especially with those kind of managers, they're so precise and system focused now. We've got people like Pep coming out and saying that one of the best right backs, of the last 10 years can't play this system. And he's not dissing him. He's just saying he hasn't got attributes to play this system. So I would personally, go in there. Says me who's never managed a professional team. But that's the logic I would use.
It's a free hit. No matter how you look at it, I think it's a free hit. It's just Frank's got nothing to play for. The new manager is playing for next season.
But I would to counter that, I would say, right, say that manager comes in for the 8 games, doesn't do, say he does what John said, the 1 win, draws and rest losses, and then he starts the next season with that same record. It's not a free hit because you're counting the previous season.
Straight away, you haven't won for 10 games now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
so
exactly what I was going to say. Fans straight away. It's not put it on tape. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, you're being judged.
That's fair.
As soon as you put
you can come in fresh, pre-season,
Yeah.
fresh.
And
We ain't got no games. We got friendlies.
Yeah, nothing behind me.
Training ground and boom, and I can have a list of players I don't want.
They have a point, because you can see their stats now. It's the second game of the next season.
Yeah.
John Nagelsmann has now lost 6 games in a row. This is his second game. Going all the way to back to season. You'll have
what you were saying.
TV.
You're taking
They
it.
haven't won in the summer.
They haven't won at the bridge in the last 10.
Everything is stats based now.
You know,
Like
those
people love to
Massard
roll out a
stats,
stat.
I hate them.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on, guys, it's still August. And then I'm like, they're carrying it. Oh, he's on a win streak of 8 games.
No, but hear this, but to what you were saying, let's say not an argument, someone that's in another job comes in, they get the job, they can go to the higher ups and say, listen, this player, I don't care if we've just bought him recently.
Yeah.
He's not for me, or send him on loan because he's not ready.
Yeah, I agree.
This new manager's coming in summer and he's starting from there.
Bruv, he's playing...
He's not getting rid of anybody. He's playing everyone that they've just
bought. Sun Lake FC in America pre-season.
Exactly. He's not going to see what this guy's potentially...
But they can still assess not being the manager. So you can still have his system. And if you come in the summer, you can already tell the club that I don't want X, Y, and Z. So get all the dirty work out the way when you're not there.
Training is different to the pitch, bro.
I tell you what, though, is there a view that the game is where you see the real player, right?
This is it. Training is different to the pitch.
So my point is actually, if he only watches games and analyzes games, he's gonna see the real player. Whereas when I turn up on the Tuesday in July, you're gonna show me the best Mark. Yeah?
Exactly.
Taking free kicks, right foot, left foot, all of that.
Exactly.
And then on Saturday, you can't even pass down the line to Modric.
This is it.
So yeah, it's an interesting one. But well, they've made a decision now. Frank's gone there. He's not put any points on the board yet. Let's see. I mean, looking at their fixtures, I shouldn't laugh. But we've got Real Madrid.
Ouch. When's that game? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Jeez.
I think they're Wednesday. I'll check in a second. Then they've got Brighton at home.
They're not winning that.
Then Real Madrid again. Then they've got a Man United game which has been postponed. The way Man United are playing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea gets out.
Is that FA Cup final, semi-final weekend?
Yeah. Okay. Then they've got Brentford at home.
Oh,
bro,
you know
that's
what?
all losses.
You've just said to me, loss.
That's all else.
Wait, are you still taking a job?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not taking that job.
It's
Crazy.
a free hit, bro.
Yeah.
No way. That's never.
Let me tell you more fixes. Hold on. Then you got Arsenal away.
That's never a free hit, bro.
Then you got Bournemouth away, who are fighting for their lives. Maybe you're fighting for your lives with them. Yeah? Then they got Forest at home, second to last game of the season. Guess who your last game of the season is?
Who?
City, who at that point are
That's definitely a free hit.
are either trying to nick the title or are trying to maintain their lead and not have Arsenal nick it from them. So
Out
you're
of
not
those
winning that
fixtures,
game.
Well,
I can only see them.
Bournemouth
Yeah, like if they don't pick up a point until a win until Bournemouth,
you could
I
lose
wouldn't be
every
surprised.
single game.
until
I
Bournemouth.
think they'll beat Brentford.
And then you're not
Brentford was
Nagelsmann.
in there. I think they'll beat Brentford.
Yeah, you know what,
You
guys?
see Brentford on
I'm
Saturday.
changing my answer.
Beat them.
I'm not taking that job. Still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen to us. Listen
Yeah,
to
yeah.
us.
No, I still think it's still like a period of going in and seeing what you can do.
Because what I
needs
failed
be
to do
done.
was look at the fixtures before I answered. Look at that.
I don't,
That is
think, I don't think it
crazy.
makes a difference. Man.
Yeah.
You still need to go in an assessment before the summer, man. You get more. That's your preseason starts now, whereas most other managers, their preseason starts when you get back in August.
Not to the
Or whenever it
fans,
is.
bro.
Yeah, not to the fans, but bruv, they're gonna know
that
this is.
counts.
No. Because
I think it's easier to make an assess, like to be, because once you go in there, you meet people and stuff like that. I think it's harder to say, no, I don't want him. But if you've got no affinity to anyone, you can just make that assessment without having any sort of
And
bias.
personality
And
matters and
you've got no personal opinions on anyone.
Well, if he's Nagelsmann, I hope he turns up on his skateboard in West London. I want to see it. I want to see how that goes down.